Hey guys, welcome to this first non-speedrunning video on the channel. I'm making this video just because I feel that Age of Empires 3 doesn't get much speedrunning action at the minute, and so I'd like to really get more people involved, and so I thought I'd make a tutorial on how to run the first act, and this will cover anything from setting up the game to running it to being able to publish it on speedrun.com and all that. So yeah, if you're interested, stay tuned and enjoy. So I just want to clear something up here right now. I'm sorry for my voice, it's a bit croaky as you can hear. I just wanted to get a video out because I haven't in a long time, and the sooner I get this tutorial out, hopefully, the more people want to start running this game, because it's been very dead for a couple of months now. It's quite boring. So yeah, I wanted to make this video just so that everyone can, you know, have a good starting point for running this game. It's quite fun, I enjoy it. But without further ado, I'll just get into it. I'm sorry if parts of this seem a bit choppy and cut out because I'm like trying not to have a coughing fit while speaking, but I'm sure you can make sense of it and enjoy, hopefully. First thing you want to do when you start recording is, instead of going to campaign like I have, you're going to want to go to help and tools, just here, options, and then you want to go to graphics options and just show this screen here. So you want you got to first toggle VSync on, then you're going to go refresh rate, make sure it's capped at 60, because otherwise your run will be void, because Age of Empires, if you run it at higher frame rates, everything runs slightly faster, which is classified as cheating, so that's against the rules. And the resolution and stuff, nothing else really matters, it's just, yeah, you want to have that 60 FPS. So then you can go straight to campaign, click on breakout. You don't need to watch this cinematic right here, you don't need to do that. And timing starts as soon as you click play, as you can see there. So that's how you get started. So first of all, I just want to clarify, I will be jumping from video to video in this because I want to show you my PBs, not just my world record run, just so you guys could see the fastest possible times. But yeah, so when you first press start, it will load into this first mission breakout. This mission's it's really easy, there's not much to do, you can't really go wrong. There are some small optimizations you can do by getting the best timing, but honestly it's just going to save like 6 or 7 seconds, not going to make too much of a big deal. So when you jump into it, the first thing you want to do is you just want to grab these units here, just like this. Just group them together and you want to move them straight to the beach down here. So by doing that, instead of like getting your mouse to the edge of the screen and going all the way down, you can actually just right click on the mini map, which will move them there straight away. It saves a little bit of time. And then you also want to get rodoleros going as fast as possible, because the aim of this is to get 50 rods before they call in their cavalry, pretty much. So then what you want to do is you want to come up here just like I have, select your market, and you want to buy the hunting dogs upgrade so that your villagers will gather food faster, and then you just want to sell some wood for coin so we can train more rodoleros. Then pretty much straight away, you're going to want to wait for these villagers to stop collecting their treasure. So once they've stopped, they'll go to predefined positions. And then, sorry, I just missed that. Yeah, you watch them, they'll finish, and then they'll go grab other food and stuff. And what you want to do is just want to interrupt some of them and get them to grab this food treasure. And you'll see in a minute there's another food treasure up here you want to grab. Otherwise, just get everyone else to go on food. Just every one of the villages, not on the farm, you want them to hunt animals because it's faster. And yeah, you see that, yeah, food treasure up here you also want to grab. This doesn't matter too much, but you generally want to do this quite fast just so you can get the maximum amount of food. And you'll know you've done it right is because these resources won't increase anymore, your food and your wood and your coin, just your meat will be increasing, and then you've known you've moved every villager over. So you generally want to be creating as many rodoleros as possible, so just check back here every now and then, just to train them as fast as possible. So now you'll notice that the rest of this is just, you know, making sure that those villies get onto deer as fast as possible. Just want to be training those rods, and you've got about a minute of free time here. So there are different strategies to train them as fast as possible. I prefer this one where you select them all at the same time and just, I don't know why, I just like doing that better. It's probably not as fast, but yeah. So yeah, we're going to be training about 50 rods. So there are different strats you can do to increase or, you know, to train these rods, but ultimately it doesn't really matter. You're just going to want to train 50 of them. And even if you get like 49, 48, it doesn't make much of a difference, to be honest. So I'm only going to need a couple more rods here. Then we got 46, so then I've got my 50 right there. And now it's coming up to the time where... Yeah, so now once you've got 50, you're going to want to move them right down here to the beach, just like next to your original group of units. And we want to do this by, I think, 3 minutes, because at 3 minutes, that's when the Turkish are going to move in their cavalry, and that can take out a couple of your rods. So yeah, there you go, right on 3. We managed to move them out of the way just to dodge that. So now, I've actually forgotten to move these settlers, so you might want to do this slightly earlier. But you want to move your settlers up to this part of the hill right here. So just every one of them, grab all your settlers right up to that exact spot there. And you don't want to do this too late, because you need to beat the Ottomans here. Very important. So it doesn't really matter when you do this, but generally around 3 minutes 30 is when I like to move this group of rods up into the cavern. You can do it a bit later, but yeah, like I said, this mission isn't that important. You're only going to save a couple of seconds if you do it perfectly. So once your settlers up here, you want to position them as close to the campfire as possible. I'll show you better in a sec, but yeah, once again, it's just saving a couple of, milliseconds at the most. Yeah, so the first spot you want to put your rods is right in front of this entrance. Every one of them, you want all your rods here. And you want to move your other group of units to about here on the minimap. And that's just because that's where the Great Bombard's are going to spawn. And the mission ends as soon as you kill all 3. So you want to do that as fast as possible. So I like to sort of space them out a bit, because then it means that the Bombard's going to spawn in the middle of the group of units and you can kill it just that tiny amount faster. Oh, back to the settlers. You generally see, because what's going to happen is... Hold on a second. What's going to happen is the wood's going to spawn here and here. So you want half your settlers around that, half your settlers around that. It's RNG how they decide to move, like who decides to collect which campfire, but just gives the most movement and should hopefully do it the fastest. So any minute that last bombard's going to spawn. I mean that first bombard's going to spawn. Alright, so what you want to do is you want to have your rods selected up here, so that as soon as that bombard spawn, ignore those units, and you just want to click that as soon as possible. So then you can kill that bombard, and now the rest of this mission is going to be a bit more hectic than the start, but it's not too bad, honestly. So you want to grab half your Rodoleros. I don't know if there's a shortcut for that, I just usually highlight just about half, 28 to 22. Right? And you want to move them, just select somewhere up here so they start walking up there. We need cavalry. We need to signal command of the lane. So then you've got half your rods heading up and half of them still down here. And you want to position these around here. So you're not going to need to actually check in on the settlers, because they'll completely light the fire on their own. What you want to do is you want to focus on this group here. This is the group you want to be in control of, because these guys will take the longest to kill the bombard. So you want to select them first, make them select it. You're going to want to have your second group about here on the minimap, and your first group just down here. Because there's going to be a bombard spawn there, there, and there. And you want to kill those 3 as fast as possible. So there you go. So the first bombard spawn, that's quite a good spawn. What you don't want is you don't want the bombard to spawn in front of your troops and they have to chase it down. That just wastes quite a bit of time. Could be like 10 seconds. So yeah. So now this one, I usually... You could say I waste time by doing this, but like I said before, if you have them too far up this way, the bombard's you're gonna be chasing down the bombard, which takes a long time. So I prefer just a little bit of leeway, and then you can catch up to it quite quickly. This one's usually quite good. As you saw, they were already half destroyed it without me even having to tell them. If they don't, you can use Morgan's ability to insta-kill it. But like, yeah, I think yeah, there you go.
Excellent work, man.
Alright, so as you can see there, this is the only part you can really save time. is if you have a look at this dialogue here, one of the soldiers will say it's the last of the bombards. Morgan will start his dialogue, and you actually cancel that dialogue by finishing and saying "excellent work, men," etc., etc. And if you do it before if you can do it fast enough, this text here will actually cancel out that one, and you are victorious. So if you have a look again.
Good job, Morgan. Excellent work, man.
So as you can see, he sort of half said that thing. And normally, if you do it too slow, you'll have to wait for that whole dialogue line to finish before you get the "you are victorious." But if you do it fast enough, this text will cut it off halfway mid-sentence, and you get the end game much faster. But after that, that mission's done. Quite a simple mission, but yeah. So next up's into the caves, and while it's not super hard on its own, you can definitely save time or lose time depending on how well you control your units. So you're probably gonna pay attention or take notes or something, because there's quite a lot going on. But let's just play the video. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is you want to get your 3 Swiss pikemen, move them about there, then send your bombard to pretty much this location on the map, just there. And then you're going to want to select your 3 Swiss pikemen and Morgan and Elaine, and you're going to want them to move to the same position. You do not want these 5 units and the bombard in one party, because they will slow down the bombard, and you don't want that. I mean, the bombard will slow them down. Then you're going to want to, as you can see here, you want to train 10 pikemen and select their attack point to be up here, and get the pikeman upgrade after that. Then you can redirect your position to make them walk slightly faster.
Good work.
So what you want is these 3 attacking, these 5 attacking, and you want that bombard as soon as possible. So you're only going to need 1 bombard shot, so you're going to want to let him shoot, then you're going to want to horse straight away. You don't want to wait for it to be destroyed. Then select all these units and have them move up here, which will be at the end of the caves. And then select your Great Bombard and make it move to the same spot.
We found a weapons cache.
Then as you saw there, you can just... Where is it? Then as you saw there, you can select your pikemen that just trained and make them target the weapon cache you just found, which saves a little bit of time. And for this situation, you're going to want Elaine to sort of lead the pack and take all the bullets, because you just don't want them pikemen to die, because they are your fastest way of destroying the weapons caches. As you can see, just sort of, yeah, draw them out, draw their fire, because these pikemen are very important. So now you're going to want to target your bombard like I just did there. You want to grab your bombard, target him on there as soon as possible, because he's going to be responsible for destroying both those caches. Now you're going to want these guys to first of all target that as soon as possible, and you're going to want pretty much 8 of your pikemen to head down after a second throw. So you want to wait 1, 2 throws of the fire and then come down here. You want them to target that as soon as possible. So after this point, it's just a waiting game. Your bombard's already destroyed one of them, hopefully. Your Swiss pikemen have destroyed both these 2, and you're just waiting for that 3rd cache to blow up, and it will trigger the end cutscene.
Sir, one of the explosions has revealed another passage.
Excellent work, man.
So yeah, as you can see there, that was quite a technical run, but quite a technical mission, but yeah, not the end of the world if you stuff one part of it up. Alright, I'm back.
Malta.
Alright, so this next mission is definitely very technical. Fuck. Alright. So this next mission, Pirates, is quite technical. It's definitely a run ender, so this is where you're going to stuff up and have to do those last two missions again. Because it's a very risky strategy. Like, there's a lot that can go wrong. You really have to pray to like the RNG gods or whatever, because it's quite hectic, as you will see now. Also want to add quickly, there is a much easier and less risky strat that I used to use and used to be the fastest before we had this strat. If you want to see that, you can actually go on speedrun.com and have a look at my actual current world record, because I used the safer strat on that one instead of this strat. Link will be in the description. So I just want to say, the RNG of this level starts pretty much immediately, because these two ships can sort of get stuck on each other and just spin on the spot for a little bit. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, that's already where it starts. So you can lose up to like 5 seconds waiting for that.
Our ship is badly damaged. Start a colony on this island and wait for more ships to arrive from Malta.
So first what you want to do is you're going to have to select Morgan and 2 crossbowmen and move them into the ship. That's definitely number 1, because that ship's going to start sailing away, as you can see. And you want to turn it straight away. Just tell it to come back. Then while those 2 are boarding the ship, you're going to want to build your town centre, get that up as soon as possible. And as soon as that ship's full, you want to move straight up here to the pirate island, right about there. Then you want to select the rest of your troops and move them to that little outlook there. And then pretty much you're going to select this to be the spawn location for all your settlers, because they're also going to need to come to where the soldiers are.
Continue expanding the colony. We will need military buildings.
So as soon as these guys approach this outlook, you're going to want to drop them off pretty much on this sort of rock out jut. And then move that ship straight back to where you positioned those troops before, on that little island thing. Then you're going to want to, as you can see, that happened quite quickly, but what you want to do is you want to select Morgan. So, select Morgan, and you want him to, first of all, to attack this, what do you call it, like super, I don't know what that's called, use his ability on the Treasure Guardian. And then after that, you want him to grab the treasure chest thingo. And so that's what you're hoping. You're hoping, because there's actually a group of pirates that comes and attacks Morgan and the crossbowmen, you're hoping that Morgan sort of walks through most of them and he doesn't take too much damage and he can grab that chest before inevitably he will die. But you're just hoping, and I don't know what the odds are, probably like, you got like a 1 in 3 chance of that happening successfully, you know what I mean? I don't know, that's just from when I was grinding to get this record here. But it's not good odds. Then you're going to want everyone to board onto this ship and then sail to this island down here. And once you're there, you want 2 settlers and all 3 hussars to spawn, to exit the ship. And then you're going to want them to, the hussars only, leave the settlers there. You want the hussars to attack those pirates. And you want to draw them away so that your settlers can grab the treasure. So as you can see, you want your settlers to, so you see what I did there? What you do is you want your settlers to first move here, then grab the chest, because that will give the hussars enough time to kill this pirate guardian. Then your boat should have arrived, and you should be able to drop everyone off, and you're just going to want to destroy that pirate as fast as possible and get those 4 settlers to grab the chest. So at this point you would have seen just there, you can actually tell whether Morgan was successful, because this dialogue will come up and he'll say something, I don't know what he says. But and then, you know, you don't have to restart the run. But that's just something you can look out for instead of getting disappointed at the end. Yeah, so you just want to spam grab treasure with these guys, and as soon as he's dead, they'll grab it. And yeah, so that was quite a lucky run there. That was my PB time. But yeah, so that one's quite a technical mission. It might take you a few goes to get it first try. But yeah. Alright, so the next mission up here, the Ottoman Fort. I don't think, it's not gonna like, if you mess up this, it's not gonna end your whole run. Like, it's just gonna waste a couple of seconds. Yeah, there's no, it's a very safe strategy. I'll say that. But it can be optimized.
Just want to keep it away from the circle.
Sahin has beaten us here, but we'll worry about him later. We need to get a colony started.
So pretty much, the faster you work at the start, the faster your end time's going to be, because pretty much the aim of this is to just get as many pikemen as possible, so we can take down the walls and the buildings you need to finish the mission. Yeah. Yeah. First of all, you want Morgan to start walking up in this direction, and you want to build your town center. Then you want your boat, your what's it called, your ship to come down to the bottom here, because there'll be a fishing dock, and you can get some nice extra XP there. But then, as you saw, you want your pikemen to come down to the bottom here so that we can get an exact location we want everyone to spawn. And then you want your settlers to start hunting meat.
Spotted the Turks fishing operation.
So as soon as Morgan discovers that, the trading post there, he wants to build one straight away. And like I said, you're going to want your boat to destroy this fishing dock as fast as possible.
Good.
You're going to want all of your settlers that just spawned to start chopping down trees for some wood. And you want these two to grab your supplies to drop. So this is also more RNG to the run. You have to pretty much, if you want to have a fast world record contending time, you're going to need to drop wood crates and also food crates. You can do it with just food, just wood. I mean, yeah, just food, just wood. If you get coin, it's really going to stuff you up. Like, the strategy isn't going to work. But it might waste, what, 20 seconds? But, you know, if you've had a really good run in the past 3 missions, then maybe continue. I don't know, it's up to you. But this strategy only works if you get a food crate and a wood crate.
And reinforcements to continue building the colony.
Yep, so as soon as you get that first shipment, you're going to want to send food straight away. And just make sure that everyone's chopping wood as they should be. And as soon as this finishes building, you want to train as many Mayan spearmen, Maya spearmen as possible. And so these pikemen have shown you where to put your spearmen, so you can get them to spawn down here. So this is all just sort of waiting game, just waiting for more things to spawn. And I've put these two here so they can gather this food as fast as possible. So you can't start your assault on the main enemy base until Morgan gets down here. And you'll see that in a second. So you want Morgan to get there first so that he can take the majority of the damage from the towers. Oh yeah, second shipment, you're going to want your rods to come down. You could also send in crossbowmen, but with this strat, they're not going to get there in time to actually do any damage. So it's sort of just wasted at that point. But yeah, so as I said before, you want Morgan to come in first, so he's going to take the fire of this tower, and you're not going to lose any spearmen or anything. As soon as he's in position, get everyone else to come down here, and they can start attacking the gate. And the rest of this is just getting that maximum amount of Holger spearmen as fast as possible, as well as you can actually move your settlers down here for a little tiny bit extra damage. Ignore all these Ottomans that walk through, they're just scripted to walk around, they don't actually have a purpose. So now as you can see, I've set Morgan to the, I don't know what that's called, like hold your position thing. That'll slow down his walking time, but I think he takes like half the amount of damage from these towers, and that'll stop him from dying. But just make sure that you turn that off and go back to normal mode before he starts walking, or else he's going to slow everyone down. So, So the way this works as well is you want all these dudes to be behind Morgan so that he gets targeted from the attack again, and then just switch him back to cover fire mode, and yeah, that's it really. move those rods down, make sure your settlers are on target. And now it's sort of just waiting for the building to get destroyed, really. So now for this last bit, it doesn't really matter if Morgan's the center for damage. There's not, you know what I mean? There's not really much choice, really. You're just going to want to destroy that as fast as possible. And you'll see what I did there. Instead of, I mean, if we just go back a little bit, instead of, I've seen other runners in, like, they just sort of click attack the building, and the people will sort of create a wide arc around the town center, which wastes time because they all have to sort of find their preset position. But if you move them as close to the building as possible, they'll all start attacking at the same time in unison. And you can see what I'll talk about with these people that didn't quite make it into that zone. You'll see that they take a while to try and find their positions onto where to attack the building, and we don't want that. That's just too slow. So now all there is to do is just wait for the town center to fall, and that'll be the end of that mission.
Attacks are on the run. Excellent work, men. Scout the entire...
Alright, so from this point on... Alright, so actually, I'll say the other way around. Before this point, all the missions, I've had the current world record for the individual times, and I've been showing them. I want to say these next 4 levels, I do not have the current world record, and I'll link all 4 of them in the description if you want to go watch them for the actual fastest times. I think for the other 3, so not this mission now, not Temples of the Aztec, I'll start again. So I want to say, before this, I just want to add quickly, before this point, I've had the current, so I just want to add quickly that all 4 of the missions before this point, I currently hold the world record for, and so I've been showing those. They're the fastest ones, they're the ones you should look at for the best strats. But for Temples of the Aztecs, there's actually a slightly faster strat that I just haven't got around to doing yet, but I will eventually. So I'm going to link all 4 of these next missions. I'll link the current world record in the description, and a shout out to all those record holders. I'll mention them in their times. But yeah, so if you want to see the fastest Temples of the Aztec, just check that link in the description. Otherwise, this strat I think wastes like 20 seconds. I've actually got the numbers here. So yeah, so the current world record is 3 minutes 15 seconds by Empire's Freak. And I think this time in this video is around 4 minutes. So yeah, go check out his video if you want to get really competitive. But I'm still going to talk about my strat here. The first thing you want to do is just move Morgan to... You can actually one-hit all of this group if you attack one of the pikemen with his super hit. They will die. And then you can build a trading center right there. Trade post, sorry.
alliance with the Aztecs.
Then yeah, you're going to want to group this group together, and you're going to want to move them around about this spot here, as that's where the gate to the Spanish base is. Then you're sort of just waiting for Morgan to build that trading post. I want to say this mission is sort of like the previous one, where you can save a little bit of time here and there, but it's not run ending if you stuff it up.
We welcome you in our battle against the Spanish.
Be kind to us.
So then you want Morgan to join that group of soldiers moving up. And this part here you want to do quite quick. So you want your covered wagon to build your town centre, sorry, up here. And then you want your settlers to build a couple of houses. Then you're going to want your artillery foundry as close to this gate as possible, because those mortars you're going to train are really slow. As soon as it lets you, build it about there. Then you need a market. And yeah. So now that other group of units you have that have just arrived, sorry, you want them to also move up here, as well as these guys, and you're just going to want to lay siege to that wall now. I have noticed, I don't know why, the Eagle Warriors, they sort of have a mind of their own in a way, like they sort of just go attack people randomly, so just keep an eye on them. Yeah, like I said before, just try and get these guys as close to the gate as possible. Yeah, like that, so that you can destroy it as fast as possible. Now, see, these settlers have finally moved up and are able to build that artillery foundry. And then once that's built, we're going to build some mortars. You're not going to be able to build as many straight away, because we need that market to go up so that we can start trading some resources.
We must help the Aztecs defend their temples against the Spanish until the large Aztec army arrives.
So this part is where the new strat sort of comes in that you can go watch. It's just different unit control, just slightly faster. But usually what I do is I move my hussars up to the north side of the map and have everyone else attack this. And yeah, you just want to be moving those mortars in, as well as, hopefully I should train up those other ones in a sec. Yeah, so I want my hussars to attack that northern outpost, and then move those mortars up to sort of central location, so that they can destroy most of the enemy buildings. Yep, so that was definitely a stuff up on my part there. You could have, that's probably why I lost a lot of my time. You want to train the rest of your mortars in that batch. You do not want, yeah. Let's buy as much wood as possible, and just, yeah. That was definitely a stuff up on my part. So, to win this mission, pretty much, yeah, so look, I didn't even, yeah, this is a really bad run from me. You should definitely go check out that world record. But, yeah, pretty much the mission will end once all the buildings inside this fort are destroyed. So that's what we want to do as fast as possible. Just take out the outposts. And yeah, as you can see, I didn't move my units. But in this one, it's all about unit control. The faster you can move those units into their positions, the better you're going to go. You can pretty much ignore all the enemy units and that text at the top waiting, because pretty much the game wants you to wait this 12 minutes, but that's just too slow. Not waiting 12 minutes every run. But yeah, once, yeah, so there you go. As soon as those buildings fall, you're done. That's it. I'll just let this play. This is actually good, I can show you one of these. For this one, oh no, never mind. Oh, yeah, my bad. Sorry, I'm going to backtrack here a little bit. This is my fault entirely. I didn't get to show you this. So, before this mission, you may have been a little bit confused. Before this mission, as soon as the Ottoman fort mission is finished, instead of just clicking through this menu as fast as possible, you're going to want to choose some new cards. So you have to go to the Knights Garrison, you're going to want the 2 Mortars and the 2 Falconets. And then you can click continue as fast as possible. Sorry, that's my bad. Just skip back up to here. But otherwise, with this next menu, just skip as fast as possible. Just mash the click. So I want to mention something about this one. This was the reason that I actually missed out on the world record for quite a while. It's because I was always playing on the Asian Dynasties DLC game. If you play on that, there's a certain glitch used in this level, and you can't use it. Like, it just doesn't work. So it doesn't work on War Chiefs, and it doesn't work on Asian Dynasties. You have to play on the original game in order for this to work. Otherwise, you're going to lose about 40 seconds. But that's coming up later.
And I'll take you to Florida.
Making a name for myself in these islands should impress Lizzie. I'll have to find ways to improve my reputation. The hurricane has put us so far off course, we won't be getting any shipments from Malta.
So as soon as you take control, you're going to want Morgan to head down there. Same with your hussars. Oh, not same, sorry. You're going to want them to head down to this southern part of the beach.
Protect those settlers.
And then you're going to want to just destroy these, I don't know what they're called, Caribbeans or something. As soon as you see the town, the trading post, you want to build that. So there are actually some Caribs there, as you can see here, but they're not going to attack you. They're actually going to try and destroy the trading post. So you're actually fine there with Morgan.
Yes. Come on, man.
Then you want to make sure, pretty much, you want to grab all these cows as fast as possible, and then move up to that point with the hussars. And for the cows to not get captured, you want them to first move up to this point here, and then move over to the left there. Otherwise, they're going to get recaptured by the Caribs.
Warriors do not fight well against cavalry. We should build a stable and trade more.
Yep, so then as Morgan just said, to get some extra XP, you're going to want to build a stable.
I'm told the Caribs have cut off Havana's trade from the rest of Cuba.
So then you're going to want, yeah, all these units here, including the settlers, you're going to want all of them to move to that northern beach up there. Then send your, what do you call it, your hussars up as well, to that same spot, and you want Morgan to come down here.
This native boy needs safe passage back to his family.
Yep, so then try and kill these Caribs as fast as possible. It's quite an important part. Do not forget to move the native boy over here, because I seem to always forget that, and that definitely ends the run. So then as soon as Morgan kills them, contradictory to what you might think, you actually want to destroy this canoe, which is, because then it'll actually spawn right there at the top of the map. So it's way faster than having it just move up there. And so this is almost a setup for that glitch I was talking about before. So if you have to play on the Asian Dynasties or War Chiefs, then you're going to have to wait for Morgan to walk all the way back up here, which is obviously going to take a long time. But that's just something to keep in mind. So Asian Dynasties or War Chiefs, move Morgan up there and don't leave before he's on the boat. Otherwise, for this strat, you can just move Morgan over to Lizzie and stuff. Then you want your boat to sail over here, let everyone off, and move everyone just more onto the island. And make sure you move your native boy up to his village. Then cavalry first south, then crossbowmen, and then settlers last. Because pretty much what you're going to do is you want to distract all these dudes with the cav and the crossbowmen and have the settlers collect the treasure. Now the issue if you're playing on War Chiefs and Asian Dynasties is the settlers can't actually gather that treasure, it won't let you. So that's why Morgan's needed. So otherwise, if you're on Asian Dynasties, get Morgan to gather the treasure. If you're not, just get the settlers too. And yeah, so as soon as they gather that treasure, you're going to have enough experience to end the mission. So while I'm there, I might as well say, like I said before, this isn't the world record right here. The world record is held by Bart the Void, and that's 2 minutes and 21 seconds, and this time here is 2 minutes 40 seconds, just about. But yeah, skip through the dialogue again. Skip, spam space so you don't have to watch the cutscenes. So, Spanish Treasure Fleet. Definitely worst mission in the whole campaign. The RNG is insane, and there's so much that can go wrong. And if something goes wrong, that's it. You gotta restart. All that 20 minutes you just spent, gone, wasted. So not fun, I'll tell you that much.
Florida coast is crawling with Spanish fortifications. We'll have to scout the area.
Also, unfortunately, I don't think there's a safer strat. Like, you sort of have to do this risky strat, or else you're gonna be wasting minutes. So yeah, as you saw, sorry, I'll rewind that a little bit here. So first of all, you want to turn your galleon, turn it around, beach all the boats, you're sort of doing a bit of a swap around here. So what you're going to want to do is exit everyone from the boats. Get those 3, so you got your falconet, your mortar, and your caravan, your covered wagon into the galleon, and then you're going to want that to sail just around there. Move your 2 privateers up north and have them target the stockades, that's what they're called. Make sure your galleon, pretty much your gallion's just going to follow this river. It goes inland up to here, and just make sure you don't go too close to the enemy base, otherwise you're going to get shot down quite fast. So now you're going to have 2 groups going here. You're going to want to send your Huaminka, I don't know how to pronounce that. You're going to want to send them up to this point on the map just there. And yeah, like I said, keep that boat moving. And you're going to want to take out this outpost here with the rest of your people on the beach. Just ignore that. Ignore this up here. Just let them walk straight past. So now this part, you're going to want to focus on your boat. You have to eject the falconet there, your mortar there, and you want your mortar first of all to destroy this outpost, and your falconet to destroy the outpost that's just up northwest of it up there. And just move this out of range of that tower so it doesn't get destroyed. And the point here is to not draw attention, because there's actually a big army just in the city, and you want to just play it cool, don't draw their attention. So by now your Incans should have arrived, and they're going to destroy this outpost here. So yeah, there's the outpost the falconet's going to destroy. Close that dialogue box. And now you really have to take control here. This is quite the critical part. This is the part that's going to fail if it's any. So what you want to do is you want to just wait. So don't bother putting it in mobile mode. That just wastes too much time. Just make it push up to around here. Then you got to eject that caravel and just get it to walk. Yeah, so target the outpost with the mortar. Get that covered wagon to move up to here, and you really want to hope that it gets targeted by this army. So as you can see, that's awesome. So this dude right here, this, I don't remember what his name is. He's a Spanish guy. He's one hits pretty much everything. So you want to try and keep him away from the covered wagon as best you can. So as you can see, I usually walk up here, and you just want to hope that they do not target that mortar. Because if that goes down, you're going to waste heaps of time. So there, as you can see, pretty much everything's falling now. That outpost falls, the falconet outpost falls. That Incan's outpost has fallen, and you're just waiting for this last outpost to get destroyed. And there you go. So if you want to go check out the world record for this one, link will be in the description, but it's pretty much just better unit control and some slight optimization here and there. So there's pretty much the same strat. Fountain of Youth, the last mission, not too complicated. Like, yeah, you can't really go wrong here, to be honest. First of all, get your fire ships, as you can see, go destroy that Fountain of Youth. Then get your hussars to take the fixed gun as fast as possible. This is going to seem a bit weird, but you pretty much want to delete the rest of the units down here, because we're going to need as much population as possible. Yep, so just everything possible. And so as soon as you have the fixed gun, you want to make it target the outpost on that small island. And then, yeah, so this part's quite important. You want your covered wagon to build your outpost straight away. Just get rid of those crossbowmen, they just take up too much pop. Make sure that that fixed gun is destroying that outpost. And then, so I don't know if you saw that, but I put 3 settlers back into the Paris burning, the galleon here, just so that you can move them up north to this beach. And you're going to want them to build an artillery foundry. Then the rest of the settlers you get, you're going to want them to build another artillery foundry. And then so it looks like the fixed gun has finally finished destroying that tower. So you're going to want it to target the Fountain of Youth just so we can destroy it a bit faster.
Ready.
So as soon as you get that shipment, I forgot about it here for a sec, but you want to, with these 2 artillery foundries, you're going to want to build as many mortars as possible. And then, yeah, get your 2 mortar card from the home city. Make sure it's targeted there. And then with your market here, you want to just get as much cash as possible. As much coin, I should say. And as it says, there's no population room, so you can actually kill the settlers. Just to get a couple more mortars out. It's a bit sad, but there you go. It's very important you keep your ship here, because it's going to take them over to that small island where they can destroy the fountain. Don't worry about the ship just here destroying. Don't worry about that ship up there that's destroying your fixed gun. It'll last. It's got enough health. It's quite a tank. So there you go. There's the 10 mortars. You want to get them in the boat. So I wouldn't wait for these 2 mortars, honestly. That was a bit of a mistake on my part. Once again, for this level here, I don't have the world record. World record's by Empire's Freak at 3 minutes 17. And this time here that I just did is 3 minutes 50. So if you want to go check that out, link in the description again. But otherwise, yeah, you're just trying to train as many mortars as possible. Make sure they're all targeting. I don't know what happened here. I guess they just decided not to target the fountain. But yeah, as you can see now they do. So just make sure that they're all targeting. Get a couple more mortars, move them over. Fountain's already half gone. Yeah, very simple. And at this point, there's really not much else in the run. So those 3 mortars barely help, but you know, it did something. Yeah, 1 more volley. And your timing's going to end as soon as the "You Are Victorious" appears on screen. So you want to stop your timer right there. So as soon as that pops up on screen, boom, over. And then that's it. That's your run. That's my world record time right there, 26:38. As you can see, it can be beaten quite, I'm not going to say quite easily, but it can definitely be beaten.
The circle of Ossus had nothing left in the New World. Sahi knew the Europeans were carving.
So you can let the credits roll if you want to. I usually do just because it's, I don't know, it's quite satisfying, especially if you have a good run just to watch it. But yeah, that's going to sum up this video. If you have any questions or if I haven't been clear enough, just send me a direct message on speedrun.com if you want, or just comment on this video. But yeah, if you want to see, if anyone's interested, you want to see Act 2 or Act 3 or any other campaigns in Age of Empires, I don't mind making another tutorial. All the speedrunners I mentioned in this video, I'll have links in the description to their accounts on speedrun.com. Yeah, make sure to go check that out. But otherwise, that's going to wrap this one up. Thanks so much for checking it out. You know, like and subscribe, do all that, and I hope to see more Age of Empires speedrunners in the future. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.
Was there something special about the fountain's water? All I know for sure is the circle would return to find out.